Good morning, everyone. This is Shirley from Shirley's World, and I'm about to fix breakfast here. I'm going to have something different. Sometimes I have this for lunch, but if you figure what's in it, it's good for breakfast too, because it's my whole grain bread. And I spread it with, I showed you how to do this last week or sometime. You spread it with peanut butter. I spread one slice with peanut butter. Mine's natural peanut butter, so it's a little drier than the kinds you get, you know, like Jiffy or one of those. This is fresh red peanut butter. So you spread your one slice with peanut butter, and then I cheat. I put a little bit of Nutella on the other slice because, of course, it's chocolate. So I think chocolate makes everything just a little bit better. So that's what I put on my bread. And then I'm going to peel a banana, a whole banana, and get all those strings off. That's one bad spot here. How's everybody doing today? It is pouring here. Finally we got the rain. I think it rained all night, which is really good. Rained all night. I would have had a really good night's sleep, except the dogs. It thundered also most of the night. The dogs were nervous, so they wanted to come up and sleep with me. They kept bugging me to come upstairs, so I finally let them up. So I have two dogs on the bed, and that makes for me not sleeping really well. All right, you slice your bananas in half long ways, and then you cut them in half. And then you just line your bananas up on your bread, like that. If your bread isn't long enough, it'll only take 3, but these are really big pieces. This 12 grain bread it is. Now sometimes, what I showed before, sometimes I use the grilling machine, the George Foreman grilling machine, and I actually grill this for a few minutes on the grilling machine, and it sort of makes peanut butter melty and the Nutella melty. And that's really good too, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can just do it like this quick. And then I cut it like triangles. I like my sandwiches like triangles, like that. And it really has, it looks strange inside, see. You have your bananas and your 12 grain bread and your peanut butter for protein, a little bit of Nutella for wonderful taste. I have my orange juice over there. I'm going to take this over there, and then I'll come back and get it. I'm going to sit at the counter this morning. When I had my, good morning, Heron. I'm having breakfast. I'm having my banana sandwich with peanut butter and stuff on it. So I'm going to sit, oh, I better bring the tripod. There. Let me see if I can get you in here without shutting off the whole thing. There. Yeah, it is delicious. I don't have it very often. Sometimes I have this for lunch. My funny looking sandwich. This is a lot for me to eat. Sometimes I only eat a half of the sandwich. Excuse me, I have to lean over here and get towel. But, ouch. With the whole grain bread is so big, it makes a huge sandwich, so I eat little bits at a time. I don't eat huge meals because if I do, I really don't feel good in my stomach, so usually I sort of graze during the day. Does anybody else do that? I graze and I have maybe 6 small meals a day. I usually have dinner, supper like I had last night, but that was just enough. I felt good afterwards, so that was a really good meal, that chicken parmesan. Yes, I think it's healthier too, for sure. That's what they say, and that's what my body likes, so that's what I do. I don't sit at the counter on the island very often. I thought I wanted a counter because, you know, you see that all over with a big island and a counter to sit at. But it's okay, but I find it uncomfortable to sit on these stools instead of a regular back chair. These have backs on, but my overhang on my counter, I didn't have them make long enough. I think it's only 8 or 9 inches, and I think the overhang for where your knees go, I think it's supposed to be at least 12 inches, so that's a problem if you don't have a long enough overhang, which that's the problem here. Excuse me while I eat. Look at this cute little, I found this at Goodwill. This is a salt and pepper shaker, a little chickie. The top is the salt, and the bottom has holes in it, and that's the pepper. Isn't that the cutest little thing? And I'm going to Goodwill today. Yeah, it's cute. I'm going to Goodwill today. I found out through somebody that works there that Friday mornings is when they change all their, they don't change the tags, but they change the color every week. Once a week they change what color the tag is that will be half price. So every Friday morning they change whatever color. Like last week it was white tags. This week it'll be another color, and a whole other batch of things will be just half price. So I don't know, it's something to do. I enjoy it, and you know, it's always thrilling to find a real treasure there. Yeah, it's good to know. I shop at Goodwill a lot. You know, after you shop at thrift stores and Goodwill, and I also shop at Volunteers of America is another good one. They have a lot of clothes. I don't really shop for clothes that much, but we're just going to go see what they have. It's a fun thing to do on a rainy day. It is really raining. It rained all night. I'm so happy about that. But it could stop now because we have to go out and do things. I think we had a good soaking overnight, though. Like I said before, my dogs were nervous and they ended up sleeping with me, so I did not sleep well. Yes, my sister's still here. She's up still sleeping this morning. I got up in the middle of the night, as always, and she was still reading, and that was like 3 in the morning, so that's why she sleeps in. She likes to read late at night, and then she sleeps in the morning. So, yeah, it's very nice because now I have somebody to do things with, and you know, watch movies with here at home if we do that, or just to talk to and to do things on. I have somebody to ask an opinion about. I sell on eBay, and sometimes I need an opinion about something. She will stay. She's been here 1 week, and she's going to stay another week. Well, till next Thursday. Next Thursday morning she goes. I take her halfway. To Erie. It's just 100 miles to Erie, but her husband comes and meets. We meet at the Waffle House halfway and have breakfast. And we call it the exchange. We do the sister exchange. So her husband is always so anxious to get her back. He misses her when she goes away. Yeah, it is a good plan. Prevents us both from having to drive, too far. And I don't mind the 50-mile drive. I don't know why the 100-mile drive to Erie seems forever. It's not that far, I know, but it just seems forever. So I thought I'd come on here for breakfast in the morning, what I've been doing. So did you see last night for supper? I think you were there. Mark Shaw stopped in to visit for just a few minutes. I think he likes to visit, stop by everybody that is in the tag tribes. The tag tribes thing. So I've had him stop by. Once I had Alex Pettit, if you know who he is. He's also from London, and he does a lot of teaching about Periscope and Twitter. Yeah. Tag Tribes is just a community of people that he's gotten together. It's just a support thing. That there's a list of people. It's huge now, but there's a place to go online. You find a list of people and what they talk about. And it's just a supportive thing to have, to get more followers and that kind of thing. So I always add it to my title so people know that I'm in the Tag Tribes. Another good one you probably know is the Pet Lovers Tribe with Kim. If I'm doing something with animals, I try to add that hashtag also. Yeah. That's what that's about. The hashtags make it clickable when it goes to Twitter. I don't think it's clickable on the Periscope site, but it's clickable on Twitter. So that's what that's about. And what's another one I go on sometime? The hashtags, I just recently this year read up more about the hashtags because everybody was hashtagging this and hashtagging that, and I wasn't sure what exactly that meant. So that's what it means, just to get into more sites. Get your some things you say, like if you put keywords in your title, somehow it moves you up. It has to do with that SEO thing with Google. Moves you up further on Google, so when people try to find you, like if people just click search for chickens or chicken, someplace down the line, if I wrote something about chickens, my site would come up, either my website or this Periscope when I talk about chickens. Even when I hashtag breakfast, anything, if somebody's searching for breakfast or cooking or food or whatever, that would come up. So it's just a way to get people able to find you, is what it is. So that's what that's about. I don't quite understand it all together, but I try to read as much as I can when I have trouble. And Mark Shaw and Alex Pettit are a good one to ask questions when they're doing their live broadcasts. Well, I'm explaining it simply because that's how I'm understanding it, but it could be more complicated. I'm not sure. It can't be too complicated because I see sometimes that it's working, so it can't be that complicated. It's kind of a pain to get to the hashtag mark on your iPhone, though. You have to click 3 different things to get that screen. I think they should put the hashtag mark on the numbers screen instead of the next screen. But there probably wasn't room and they didn't know what to knock off there. So the dogs have been out once in the rain. They were not very long. They don't like to get wet. Pointers are not water dogs, like labs. They don't like to get wet. They don't, if you put a pool out there on a hot summer, they won't go in it. At least mine have. I've never had one that would. I'm sure there's some out there that would. I have a funny story about my first pointer that was a tremendous hunter. And he also won some things in field trials where they, it's all about their pointing and finding birds. But he was hunting, my husband and his 2 friends, they'd take Rocky, his name was, they'd take Rocky hunting, and he was just crazy to go hunting. I mean, that's what he lived for. And they're far-running dogs, so you have to have a collar on them to call them back if they get out of your sight, and a lot of times they do. But anyway, he was within sight, and he was just bounding all over trying to find the scent of a bird, and he came up over a rise, and he didn't know that there was a lake there. So he jumps up over this rise and landed right in the lake. And they said, I wasn't there, but they said that it was the funniest thing because he came up and all they could see was his wide open eyes and him swimming like crazy back to the shore. And no, they don't like the water like labs do. A couple of my labs, I used to have labs. A couple of my labs, they could have spent their entire day in the lake or in the tub. They like to get baths. These 2, it's a fight. Now it's so hard to lift them in that I usually get my girl that comes and helps me walk the dogs. I usually call her and she'll come and help me. And she lifts them into the tub for me. Then it's no problem. But lifting them in and keeping them in while you're trying to wash them one-handed is hard. Yeah, your dog hates the water too. What do you have? What kind of dog do you have? A German Shepherd. Oh, that's a big dog to wash and a lot of hair. Hi, Curb. Thanks for stopping by. I'm having breakfast. This morning I'm having kind of a strange breakfast. I'm having a sandwich, a banana, a peanut butter and banana sandwich on 12-grain bread with a little bit of Nutella in there too. You just grabbed your coffee. Yeah, I have mine right here. Nothing like that first sip of coffee in the morning. I have about maybe 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. Big cups. And but yeah, I really enjoy coffee. My sister has her coffee always flavored with those different flavors. Hazelnut is her favorite. But that's good if you want a little dessert coffee, but it doesn't really taste like. I don't think she actually likes coffee. She likes the creamer. Oh, you like yours black? You know, I drank black coffee the whole time I was in nurses training. I don't know why. I switched, back to cream and sugar. Well, I didn't like black coffee after a while. My brother-in-law, he drinks his black. He loves coffee, and he drinks a humongous amount of coffee. There's a little fruit fly flying around here. It probably smells my banana sandwich. So today we're going to go run up to Goodwill. I have to pick up a couple other things, and I don't know what else we'll do. I heard, maybe we'll watch a movie. I heard, my daughter told me about a movie she said we should watch. It's really good. It's not a brand new movie. It's called The Judge. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it, and I forget who else, another really good actor. She says it's a really, really good movie. Has anybody seen it? I think I may get it on Netflix. I have Netflix, and I hardly ever use it, so I'm paying a monthly fee for nothing most of the time. I've heard a lot of people just, do dogs like bananas? They'll eat them. My first pointer wouldn't touch them at all. He didn't like the consistency. BGMG. Hi. My first dog wouldn't touch them, but these two eat them. They'll eat a piece of banana. What my dogs, I usually don't either, because I don't watch too much TV. These dogs, it's good to give dogs like raw green beans and raw carrots and stuff like that. I've never had a dog yet that would eat those. My sister's dog loves green, fresh green beans, but my dogs, they'll take them in their mouth and they'll carry them into the family room because they think they have something. But as soon as they start chewing them, they just let them lay. They won't eat them. And the same with carrots. Yours love carrots? Yeah, it would be great. They could snack on that kind of stuff. It would be better than the dog biscuits. But I'll have to try. I don't know what else I could try. Oh, yours like them cooked. Mine will eat them cooked, yes. But as far as raw, they won't eat them. Let's see. Of course, they won't eat little cherry tomatoes either. Besides the fresh vegetables, raw vegetables, they'll eat most anything. They love to eat. So. You have to watch. Pointers are supposed to be thin dogs. They keep themselves sort of thin because they run a lot outside, but if you can overfeed them and make them look fat, there's nothing worse than a fat pointer. They don't even look like a pointer when they get too fat. But little Miss. Okay, Erin, I will enjoy my breakfast. I'll be back later. Yeah, my female spirit, she's right on the verge of a little too heavy for a pointer. But she just eats everything. I mean, outside. She grazes like a goat. The vet says it's because she was starved. when they found her, she was close to death. I mean, she was starved. And the vet says a lot of times those dogs have this problem that they just think that they're going to starve again, and they just continually want to eat. So when they're outside, they just pick up things and eat. So you have to be careful. Yeah, she gets enough to eat. She doesn't have to graze. I keep telling her. I catch her out there eating all kinds of yucky stuff. I've even seen her pull up grass and eat it. I mean, roots and all. And she tries to eat the acorns. They chew them up. They sort of spit them out. I think they must be kind of bitter. But my other pointer, Dexter, chews on nuts too, but I don't think he eats them either. The time, that won't hurt them, but if they would eat nuts and just swallow a lot of acorns, that could cause a big surgical problem. It's like dogs that eat rocks, you know. Thank goodness I never had one of those. I've heard of a couple labs that have eaten rocks and had to have surgery. Yeah, I don't need any big surgery bills. Between my chickens, dogs, and horses, I have enough bills, you know, for the animals. The horses especially. Horses are so expensive. They're expensive to keep. You had to pull rocks out of dogs' mouths. Yeah, right. I don't know what it is. Some dogs just love rocks. They just love. I don't know if they just pick them up to play with them at first, or if they really intend on eating them, or just chewing them. I don't know. But the horses, their board is expensive, and then you have the farrier. You have the farrier every 8 weeks. Yeah, I don't know. Farrier every 8 weeks, and you have the dentist every 6 months. And a lot of people, our barn, because it's a show barn for Arabs, she has a lot of show horses, so she has a chiropractor come and adjust her horses every 3 months. She comes, and you can choose to have your horses adjusted or not, and that's the most interesting thing to see. The chiro is a woman. She stands on a big box, and she watches your horse walk back and forth, and she gets behind him and watches him, and then she knows what to adjust. And my dogs bark at absolutely nothing. You work for a chiropractor now? Yeah. She gets up there and she just pushes a couple times. You can hear the clunk when they go back into place. It's amazing. And she says she's licensed for people also, and for small animals. She does dogs, but mostly I think she makes her money doing the horses. And so Sarah, the barn owner, has her show horses adjusted before shows, a couple weeks before. I guess they feel better. You know, they seem to move better. So it must help. I don't have mine done every time. I have mine done maybe every 6 months. If they need it, you know. If they don't need it, she tells you she doesn't think that they need it. So, but it's $75 a horse, so that's another added expense, you know, that you can have with horses. Yeah, you get adjusted. I've never been to a chiropractor. I get massages every other week, and I do the reflexology on my feet every week. And I didn't believe in that at first either, but it just felt so good. I started going because, my God, it feels so good to have your feet rubbed. But, you know, it's actually helped with different things. After getting it done, and she concentrates on whatever's bothering you, and I'm telling you, it really helped. I was amazed. So I have that every week. And but the chiropractor for the horse, that's expensive. And then, of course, if anything goes wrong, and the vet, you swear by your chiropractor. The girl that shows her Arabs, she shows a lot, and she loves her chiropractor. She goes, I don't know if it's weekly or every other week, she goes to her chiropractor. I was talking about expenses of a horse. Then if it's expensive just without something going wrong. And then, of course, if you have a vet call and whatever is wrong with the horse, that's a huge expense. So I can just tell you, it's usually a couple $100 at least. But my daughter's Arab that she lost a couple years ago, but he colicked and twisted his gut and had to have colic surgery, and he was 32 years old at the time. But that whole bill ended up being like $12,000. So horses can be horribly expensive. Yeah, it was, but he came through it at 32 years old. He came through the colic surgery really well. And then he had he had a dumb accident where he broke his hip, and that can't be fixed in a horse. It was his upper femur, and broke it. So he was 34 and had to be put down. And I don't think my daughter still hasn't gotten over that, so she hasn't gotten another horse yet. So I thought I'd say good morning. Arabs are gorgeous, yes. I would have Arabs, except we had Satire, who was an Arab, and then I thought I'd try a quarter horse, so I got Preacher, which is my quarter horse, and he was a great horse for trail riding, and because he was already trained, he had been a 4-H horse, and he was trained, all his gaits were perfect, and yeah, that was a shame. But Preacher was a great horse. He was already, I think he was, how old was he when I got him? He was 14 or 15 when I got him. And now he's pretty much retired because he has a navicular in his front heels. So he's pretty much retired now. And my other horse, Echo, I got from my niece. She wanted me to take him because she couldn't afford him anymore. He was real young when I got him. He was under 2 when I got him. And I trained him, and that's the horse that I ride now. But I would have Arabs. I just happen to have these other 2 horses, so I can't get another horse. But if my daughter gets one, it'll be an Arab for sure, because we do like that breed. Echo, the draft cross, the exact opposite of an Arab. You know how Arabs, they respond very quickly to whatever you want them to do. And draft horses are like, they're not lazy, they're just, what can I say? My daughter calls them dull, but that's a bad word. They just don't react as fast. And mine is sort of a goofball, and he just, you know, everything everything else gets his attention. I think he has ADD, but He's a good guy, and they use him as a school horse. He's very gentle and good with kids. So. Anyway, those are my stories for breakfast. So I have to go and eat here. I hate to eat in front of the camera, so yeah. So I'm going to close this down, and it sounds like the rain has sort of eased up. Maybe we'll get a chance to go out and go shopping a little bit. So I'm going to go. Yeah, I will eat. I'll go, and I'll be on later, so I hope I see y'all. Bye-bye.